Welcome to the Albert and Billy Show, everyone. Here on WUAT Radio and Channel 18 BTC Fiber TV and BTC Fiber YouTube channel. Get on there and subscribe, folks. The network is really close to 1,000 subscribers. I keep saying it's painfully close. It really is. I don't know what it's at for sure right now, but I know it's in the 900s.
Wow.
And painfully close. So help us out. Some people will say they can't do it, because it makes them sign in or whatever. Well, you can do a new account on YouTube if that's the case, or you may not even have an account. You got to take that into consideration too. So you set one up. But if you're just signed out of your account, find your password. It's probably going to be something that you use for multiple things. And all you got to do is sign in, get on there, subscribe, like, comment if you like us. If you don't like us, I'd rather not hear from you, to be honest.
Tell them like it is, Billy.
And I will. Especially today. But we do appreciate all of you. I try to answer some of the letters we get. This is our guest, Matt Colvard, by the way. And I was about to tell you, Matt, who is running for Circuit Court Clerk. And we'll be interviewing him in a short minute. I got an email from some country. I was going to try my best. I can't even say the name of the person, and I've never heard of the country. So
never heard of the country?
I tried. Well, I can't pronounce it. I don't know. So if I could, though, trust me, I would, and I would say the name gladly, and I appreciate it. But unfortunately, I don't know how to translate either on Facebook, Matt. Okay. Do you know how to do that? I sure don't. And
if it gives you the option, I know how to.
Well, we may have to. I might have to see if you can do that, because there's a lot of emails that we get that look, gibberish, because I don't speak that language. Now, I do answer the ones, from English-speaking countries. I will gladly do that. But I'm good, but I'm not that good. I just know English. But we do appreciate you. We love all of our fans. Thanks to all of you. Papa, what's up with these signs in town? Matt, what's going on with this? I like it. Signs giving directions to area attractions. I've been noticing that past week or so. Do we know anything about this, though?
Well, if you go to the historic Lincoln School, of course, that's on the front page of the Bledsoe.
I like that, yeah.
That marker is particular because it gives you kind of a brief history and I think maybe the years of operation.
You know what, Matt? We're going to scoot you up here so
that
this
school
will reach you.
It tells you about the school. I know there's one going towards South Pikeville where it just says, the South
Historic District.
Historic District. So.
Oh, cool, yeah. South Pikeville, I know what they're talking about. That little strip is really pretty.
Yeah.
South Pikeville. It really is.
They might have a marker where I was raised.
They should, shouldn't they? They should. They just give you a statue, shouldn't they?
Well, they should probably have one telling some of the stories about Nickel Row out here. That would
be cool too, and he could tell a bunch of them.
He sure could.
Billy doesn't believe me that one time
I never once said I didn't believe him, by the way.
We had 3 taxi services
in
this town, and
that is kind of funny. I never thought.
And Billy asked me one time when I was telling him all the things that we used to have, 3 car dealerships and all this, and he said, "Papa, do you think it'll ever come back to that?" I said, "No."
So I wish it would, but it is starting to. That's what, and a lot of people say this, like they've noticed the slow, steady progress that this town is making. I've heard it from several people, and a lot of them don't live here.
I started saying most of the impact is being made by outsiders.
Mm-hmm. I've always said this county should be a tourist destination. Just the beauty alone, it really could be that. And it seems like it's slowly going towards that, and I like that.
Well,
I mean, we share with Van Buren County the most popular state park that there is. That alone is tourism there. And
in the state of Tennessee.
Right. I think it's the best state park in the country.
They might argue with you in Gatlinburg.
That's national.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's national park.
All right, so there goes their argument. And yours too.
I stand corrected.
I'm like Billy. I'm a little bit biased, but there's over 1 million
Exactly,
visitors that
that's
come
a lot.
out there, and
Every year.
one thing I'd love to see, of course, the tour.
And I'm partial. I worked out there for a long time as a lifeguard.
I worked out there in college.
It is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
I used to try to send as many people as I could to the pig and
Absolutely.
catch.
Yeah, that's good.
About
Yeah.
14 years ago. So
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that the park is doing now. They are promoting Pikeville, sending tourists here to eat and things like that. So that's a good thing.
Well, the couple that lives right next to First Southern Baptist Church, Jack and Wanda Carver, they just drove down from Fall Creek Falls. Saw that house for sale?
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
That's cool.
He's a retired preacher, and she's an author and speaker,
Okay.
and they just bought it
That is kind of crazy though, ain't it?
and
But-
moved in. And they're
See,
co-teachers.
folks, that's how pretty this place is.
Yeah,
Come visit one time, you're ready to move.
one time.
Truth be told, I know a few people that have not done it that last minute, but did come visit one time, and a few months later they moved here.
The 127 sale has brought some people here.
Yeah, and 126, yeah, it has, and that'll be coming up before we know it.
sure will.
Like
Yeah,
what,
in
1st of
August.
August? Well, anyway, folks, if you notice the signs, I like it. Apparently, the Bledsoe County Tourism Committee is the ones responsible for this. They've had signs placed throughout the area showing how to find places of interest. And they give an example like the historic Lincoln School, as you see in the front page of the Bledsoean. Lincoln School is on Grove Street. Also, the Bledsoe County Fairgrounds is one example that they give. They were also placed at each entrance into the city, at the Bledsoe County Courthouse, along the bypass, and various tourist sites. Pawpaw, that's the first mistake I made all day.
We did a feature on Lincoln School not just
Yeah,
a week or two ago.
I know it. Want to keep the Lincoln School. It's historic, and I'm glad that they are fixing that up. That needed to happen. So good deal on that. All right, we got a few announcements before we get to our special guest today, and I'm trying desperately right here to find them. Let's start out with this one. It's a big one. It's this. Well, it'll be this weekend, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
This is I wonder how many years they've been doing this now. It's been going on for a few years. The Star Spangled celebration, not like a majorly long time, but I would
I feel
say
like
at least 5 years.
At least 5, 6, maybe 7, somewhere. In
I
that
think so
neighborhood.
too. And it's always been a hit. Each year they have it. They do draw a good crowd. They have good music, fireworks at the end of the night also. So here we go. We'll tell you a little bit about it, folks. Come celebrate the Independence Day weekend with the Star Spangled celebration and summer night events right here in downtown Pikeville. We'll be celebrating Independence Day tomorrow, Saturday, July the 2nd, with the annual Star Spangled celebration and summer nights at the Main Street stage. Made my second mistake of the day, Papa. The event begins at 5 p.m. right here in downtown Pikeville with the cruise in and farmers market. Remember, we've been touching on the cruise ins. There's 4 of them you can go to. Be sure to get, a pin, Pawpaw? And then you can unlock the
you go to
piece
different
puzzle.
places.
It's Pikeville,
Crossville's the
Dunlap,
last one,
Crossville.
and Pikeville and Dunlap and Powell's Crossroads.
Yeah. And Pikeville's always the first Saturday of the month. But if you go to each one of them at least one time throughout the summer, be sure to get your puzzle piece. And then in December, you get to see what the puzzle is. And that'll be held in Dunlap. So I'll be sure to do that this weekend, folks, because it's right here in Pikeville, 5 p.m. Good Rockin' Tonight is a featured band with its get up off your feet and dance kind of music. All right, I can do that. If you can't dance, bring a lawn chair. That's for you, Papa, for comfort. Enjoy the evening of music and visiting with everyone there. The Cruise In is open to all, and entrants in the car show can earn a wooden Pikeville puzzle piece. All right, there we go. To add to the others on what I was just talking about. It's the Tennessee Great Scenic Byway Puzzle. The other pieces can be collected, as we were saying, by visiting Crossfield, Dunlap, and Powell's Crossroads car shows, which are held monthly. At dusk, fireworks will light up the sky for all to enjoy. If you want to do your own fireworks display over the Independence holiday, the Bledsoe County Rescue Squad, as always, has fireworks for sale this year at their location on the bypass. So that's a good event. If you never checked out the Star Spangled celebration, check it out, because it's intertwined with some good things. The Cruise In, the farmers market. So there'll be a lot of people in downtown tomorrow.
Right.
And the Bargain Basement is open tomorrow again, folks, at the Methodist Church on Methodist Street. It's from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. I'm making sure, Papa, because I know I usually have more announcements than you, but
look on the back page.
I will do that. I'll say congratulations real quick to Emery Olinger. She earned a Girl Scouts of Southern Appalachians Gold. So congratulations to Emery Olinger. And I know there was at least, I'm thinking one more that I was going to say. Yeah, here it is. We remind you each week of this, guys. It's a new thing that they're doing at Cold Springs Baptist Church. Celebrate Recovery. It's every Tuesday. So you can come to the Cold Springs Baptist Church every Tuesday. The time is 6:30 p.m. for Celebrate Recovery. It is for anyone with a hurt, hang up, or habit. For more information, you can call Harley Dewey's. The number is 423-322-7761, or Matt Lockhart at 423-252-4758. And
you might want to mention the summer reading party. That's
weird you say that. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, that's it. Because earlier I was like, I knew there was one more, and I said, "Yep, summer reading. That's a big deal."
That is, and it will be July the 14th. Okay, it's a summer reading ice cream party, folks. The Bledsoe County Library summer reading will end on Thursday, July the 14th, with an ice cream and certificate party held at our neighbors across the street at good old Ember's Ice Cream Shop, where you can get good food, good ice cream, and the best sweet tea in town. I promise you that. For those who finish the reading, that's what this party is for. The party will begin at 1 p.m. and end with drawings for money. Hey, yeah, money. That'll get people there for back to school supplies. Reading lists must be turned in by Tuesday, July the 12th, in person, or by giving them a call at the library. All right, Papa, it is your turn for announcements. Take
Tomorrow,
it away.
we have a big event on the Thunder on the Mountain. This is the first annual designated Thunder on the Mountain. It's going to be at the Fall Creek Falls Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay, hang on. We got to get you in the microphone. Used to having the one that Daryl had, but I don't know where it's at.
Well, this right here does.
Yeah, it does well for TV. It sure does. For radio, though, this, yeah, okay. There you go.
On July the 2nd, that will be tomorrow, beginning at 11 o'clock, they will have food, and the food will be served until they run out.
Well,
So I don't know how long they
that's
last.
just how to do it right there, folks.
They're going to have a motorcycle ride starting at 9 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
and it costs you $20 to ride, and then if you have an additional rider, they pay $10. And that begins at 10.
Okay.
There is going to be music. there will be 3 different bands performing. One band gets 4 hours. The other 2 bands get 2 hours each. So if it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you've got 12, they're going to start serving at 11. The music starts at 2, but you got 8 hours of music, so it'll go until
that's
10.
good. Yeah, that's good because in case it's like extremely hot, like it has been.
They're going to have hamburgers and cheeseburgers and hot dogs and fries, and they'll have water and sodas also.
Good.
And there's going to be a cornhole tournament.
Oh, yeah.
That's at 11.
Is that the venue or is it here in town?
It's out there, and it costs $20 per team.
Okay, so
Takes 2 people. Also, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday at the Faith Baptist Church, they're having their 30th church anniversary homecoming, and it will be starting at 10:30 in the morning. And there's going to be a group called the Hoppers, and they're going to be singing at the Faith Baptist
They're going to
Church.
be singing and hopping around, aren't they?
I had no idea they'd been there 30 years.
Wow.
I didn't either. To be honest, I thought maybe longer than
That's
that.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. Maybe 30 years at the location they are now, I'm assuming.
I was working at the funeral home when Doyle's daddy died.
No.
They
Hey,
were in Dayton. He and his wife
in the car.
and
I know
they,
that was.
got hit by a car. or
Yeah,
truck.
that was.
And I went over there to pick
sad.
up the bodies. And,
Oh gosh.
Doyle was having a hard time.
Of course, that I remember that well. I remember that well.
I had to wait until they
I think I was
until they released the
seeing
body
Lindsay
to
at that
pick
time.
them up.
I remember that. That was tragic. That
Tragic.
was.
He lost his mother and daddy both in the same month.
Yeah. Nobody should have to go through that. Gosh. Back, and then we're going to start with Matt. But I'm telling you, that thunder on the mountain. I know I'm not crazy. There used to be an event in downtown that was called Thunder on Main.
Yeah, it was.
Thank
Thunder
you.
on Main. Played
Thank
music
you.
there one time.
Okay. I told y'all there used to be a Thunder on Main. And
But
y'all
we
looked at me
couldn't
like I was
understand why they
crazy.
called this one the first anniversary.
And it's Thunder on the Mountain. So
Thunder
I
on
wonder,
the Mountain.
and it's motorcycles too, correct? So it's like maybe.
It's still Thunder, just different location.
Yeah, maybe they decided to have the event on the mountain instead of
Right.
on Main. That's all I can figure. That's what we're going to go with anyway. Works for me, Matt.
Sounds good.
Well, before we test you with your
Okay.
trivia knowledge, hopefully you're good because you're my lifeline, so you better be.
We'll see.
But first off, of course, we got some good old questions for you.
All right.
I know you can't wait for that.
Fire 'em up.
To the people that don't, I mean, I'm not surprised that you're running for office. But to the people that don't know you,
Yep.
let's say what got you motivated to run for office this election cycle.
Well, I've been a county commissioner since 2014, and
That's 8 years.
that's 8 years. I was 26 when I was first elected, and I'm
yeah.
34 now, so felt like I'd done a good job there. As I got on the commission, I was made vice chairman in 2018
Mm-hmm.
when I was reelected, and then unfortunately, when Mr. Craig Mercer passed away
I know, man. I
unexpectedly.
still can't believe that.
I'll talk about Craig for a second. That was one of those. There's been a couple of deaths locally that it's really hard
Mm-hmm.
for me. I have to sit and remember that person's no longer with us, and I think about like
I
Bobby
do, too.
Lockhart and Ricky Brown, and
That's happened to me with some other people too, and not literally one day I saw a woman in the grocery store and I thought she had died years ago. I mean,
it's just funny how that goes.
Weird, yeah.
But it was weird because when I got the word that he had passed away unexpectedly, my mother told me, and I was like, "You mean our Craig?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah." And
yeah, it was.
that was a terrible way to
Mm-hmm.
to become chairman of the commission, but
Oh,
all my commissioners put their faith in me to take over during that trying time, and then
Yeah.
when we came back into our regular kind of a regular session period when it all starts over again in the fall.
Yeah.
They again nominated me to be chairman, and I felt like I had done a good work.
Well,
there.
if they're nominating you, then that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean,
know?
we've got a good commission. We don't always agree on everything, but I think that
Not ever going to
no,
everything.
But I think that we respect each other, and we
That's
try
good.
to have a good rapport and try to work on everything. And
That's good.
I just
Washington D.C. would take that into consideration. But anyway,
you know, when I was younger, I used to think I wanted to be a congressman. Now I don't think you could pay me all the
No.
money in the world.
they go in good and they come out corrupt as all get out. And trust me, folks, they're not for you and me.
Well,
Not many of them.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to vote how you want to here on the local
It
level,
is.
and to
It
have a
is.
unique way of looking at things. But
Yeah.
now this cycle, I just decided that this was a position that I felt I could do well at and perform at a high level. And a little bit about my background: I graduated from Tennessee Tech in 2012,
Oh,
and
cool. You did, didn't you?
I did.
I did know that, but
Yeah.
we go back to the forgetting.
Actually, it was funny. I think we talked about this. I got my radio certificate at Tennessee Tech.
We
I was
did
a DJ.
talk about that. Yes.
I was a DJ there, WTTU 88.5 FM. Sure was. I did that.
Here comes
And
the radio voice back. I like that.
yeah. So what's funny is I'm kind of that generation that went from sort of the analog to the digital controls.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So no one had to use both.
That's cool.
An interesting skill. But yeah, I did
It
that
is.
for about 3 years while I was there. Actually, I had a show.
I'm sure you love that.
And my show was surprised I didn't get sued for it. It was called Back to the Future. But I did 80s music.
Oh, I would have loved your show then.
Yeah, or
Can't
I
beat
would,
it.
of course, this was like 2010 to 2012,
Uh-huh.
or any newer songs during that time that had influence or kind of derived from an 80s song. I would do that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I even did a country one day, and then I played
Well, you
the
should.
Brad Paisley song, "The Old Alabama."
Oh,
about.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know
Yeah.
that was
Which-
fun.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to your point. Alabama,
Yeah,
80s was their
Oh.
heyday.
yeah. Like Dolly Parton, Alabama. When I was little, that's who country music was.
Yeah,
And Randy
yeah.
Travis.
That's true. Dolly Parton's, yeah, heyday. Well, she's every generation, really every decade, but she still looks the same as she did in the 80s.
yeah. What's funny is I think I'm telling this story correct. My sister, Mandy, who she passed away unfortunately in 2009, but Mandy was a big Randy Travis fan, and I think
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think my first concert as a baby was seeing Randy Travis. I believe I'm telling that
Oh,
right.
cool.
Mama, if you're listening, I'm wrong. You set me straight on that. But
He's got some good tunes, man.
But back to Tech, I graduated, and at that time, any teaching position that was open, because I was a history or like a political science guy, there wasn't any opening. So I went to work for Ron Travis at his nationwide office. I was there for almost 4 years.
I remember you working there too.
And when I did that, I knew a little bit about insurance, probably as much as anybody else does that's looked over a policy. But that was a position where you had a lot of things going on at one time. You might be doing something contractual for someone, especially on the commercial end, people that would need what's called an accord form or like a POI, stuff like that. Or you might have somebody coming in who's, that dad that's trying to pinch every penny because his 16-year-old's fixing to drive.
Oh, yeah.
And or you'd have some little old lady who, had a house that was built, when Roosevelt was in office. I mean, seriously.
I know.
And you're trying to help her get everything in order and get her a good rate. So, or, of course,
Some of them little old ladies aren't so sweet sometimes.
sometimes, yeah. Yeah, there's real sharp, they put you out there on the spot. Or a lot of times, being this area, you'd have people who are like, I'm going to have to cancel my insurance. And you get to talking to them, you're like, why? Maybe they lost a job or a family member was sick, and you do what you could to try to help them keep coverage and stuff like that. But
That's good to hear.
No, luckily a position opened up. Mr. Chris Cagle, got to give him a shout out. He gave me a chance to work at the middle school when I did that for 6 years. And actually, no matter what happens with the election, I just took a position at Sequatchie County teaching high school. Yeah,
I didn't know that part. That's a
well, that's where my stepson.
little tidbit.
I got married last year to my wonderful wife Grace, and she's got 2 boys, AJ and Preston. Of course, I love them like they're my own, but they both go to Sequatchie, so.
I didn't know they went to Sequatchie though.
They do. That's.
You do know that you're not to move down there.
Oh no, I'm not moving. Yeah.
Same straight, Papa.
I just wanted to drop a bug in your ear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely.
Hey, we love Dunlap. We got a lot of fans and a lot of love in Dunlap, so no problem with that.
Hey, it's the Sequatchie Valley.
That's right.
There you go.
I'm sorry, even if I was never from here, blue and gold. Still 2 beautiful colors. Just hard.
It is, isn't it?
It's hard.
It's hard to see anything prettier than this end of the valley, but the whole valley is pretty.
But no, teaching in a rural area is a good thing. Whether it's Van Buren, Cumberland, Bledsoe, Ray, Sequatchie, I think that's a great thing. Of course,
you still have a little bit of humanity.
A little bit, yeah.
So it's easier.
It's not as crowded. You can.
Right.
You can reach out and probably help somebody, or they can come back and maybe use you as a reference or something like that, or it's just good. Back. It's more laid back.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Of course, being out knocking on doors, there's certain houses that I've seen. I'm like, wow, I've never realized the look that they have, the view of the valley.
Oh man, some of them's got perfect views.
I've been to Virginia. I've been to the Carolinas.
Yeah, me too.
Been to San Antonio. I've been to mainly the beach on the East Coast, and when you go up and down the valley, and I'm more partial to the views up around Cold Springs and 9 Mile.
Yeah,
that's just
nice.
That's some of the most beautiful country in the
world.
In the world, I don't care what anybody says.
It is. When you go up on Rigsby Mountain too and look off that view, that says it all.
But
it's beautiful.
Do you connect the word Sequatchie with its meaning, though?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me, ain't you?
Well, the Indians named this valley Sequatchie.
That's right. I remember you saying
it means hog trough.
Well, that's kind of.
But I'm just saying the word Sequatchie to me does not resonate as a hog trough.
No,
there's too much pure beauty.
I was sitting here thinking that you have all this beauty, and you're gonna call it hog trough.
Well, now hold on. Let's just realize. Ain't nobody in this valley don't like bacon.
True.
Actually, when I heard what the word Sequatchie meant, I think about just up the road here, Dick Brown's farm. Dick Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going up there when I was little with my dad, and he had like the leftover organs in the bucket, so I got to see like the kidneys and the heart and all that, and I'll never forget it. So
wow.
I remember being, I think, in middle school when they talked about what Sequatchie meant, and when I found out the Hog Trough Association, that's
it don't match it though.
But Dick Brown's farm is what's etched in my mind.
But listen, did you hear him snap his finger?
I did.
I've heard him do that in class.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
I'm sure
it was instantaneous silence.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, they used to. Some of the kids, I would, kind of a nervous thing, I guess, be watching the bathroom, standing by my door, and I would go, or like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, how do you snap with your left hand? And I said, well, I play music. I said, truth be told, this being my chording hand, I said my left hand's stronger than my right hand. And my right arm's stronger than my left arm. So go.
Oh yeah, they'll ask. They don't care what to ask.
Let me ask you a personal question.
Personal question, okay.
Ooh, Papa, I'll get personal.
Do you envision in the future at some point coming back into the teaching profession?
At some point?
I think you.
There are parts of education that are difficult today. At the end of the day, it's got to be something that you just enjoy doing. Actually, this graduating class, you mentioned Emory, that just graduated. This was the first group I ever taught that just graduated.
Really?
Oh, okay.
And when you see somebody,
that's to make you feel proud.
Yeah, when you see a child who comes from, a good household, a fine family, or that comes from, kind of a poor or a broken
They're not
background.
Yeah.
You know, that there's different types of success. I'll put it that
Absolutely.
way.
They don't all have it that
You know,
easy.
there are certain kids who they know the university path is what they want to do. They want to be a professional of some sort, you know, and it's like gold or bust. And then there's those other kids that they may have a talent, and you try your best, no matter what subject you're teaching, to get them to realize that and to fulfill it and realize this is something that you could do.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how many.
That is true. Getting them to do that is a challenge.
You know, I've probably taught 36 boys from some type of broken household or just, you know, a lower income situation where, you know, they like working with their hands. They like putting things together. And I would tell them all the time, go get a trade.
Too.
Yeah, but I'd be like, go get a trade. Be a mechanic.
Yeah.
I'm like, be a plumber. I mean, you know,
Anything.
Pikeville could use more plumbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, and then, you know, the other part of that is you have that
They
kid.
even call it Pikeville plumbers.
Hey, that's a great idea.
Hey, there you go.
That's
Actually,
a good name for it.
I'm going to answer his question, but I joined the chamber this year, and I told Matt Boynton, I said, I've got 2 hashtags that I want to use for this area. And during Small Business Week, I promoted Cliff's Place and some different restaurants and saleses, and I said, the hashtag needs to be buy Bledsoe if it's in Bledsoe County, and then purchase Pikeville if it's right here in the city.
Wow.
So those are 2 good ones.
Those are 2 hashtags. Throw them out there.
Those are hashtags that need to take off.
Absolutely.
I'll admit I didn't hear them, but I hear them now, and a lot of people hear them now. We need to do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
All of us do that live here. You don't always have to drive an hour away to get something that you can get here.
Right.
Yeah, but to answer your question, would I come back into education? Well, you know, if I win this office and I'm able to serve the people, there's also the chance that you get voted out by popular demand, and you know,
at least have that. That's a nice
I
cushion
would
to fall back on at least.
That's what I was getting at. You
Yeah.
have something that you can fall back on.
I do.
Yeah.
But unless you had a bad taste in your mouth, but you'd have to weigh the bad situations that might have arisen versus the satisfaction you get in seeing those kids graduate that you had down there in middle school.
That's the critical part. You got
That's
to love it.
just like a
Absolutely.
bricklayer can look at a building that he's built and
be
see
proud of
the
it.
work that he put into that and the perfection that he sees.
I
Well,
agree.
I cannot imagine. Yeah, I can. I was a substitute teacher for 3 years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can imagine the satisfaction that comes when a teacher sees that child succeed in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I've coached for so many years, I don't even know. I took a break from it, though. It's been that many. But, I mean, I see that, too. I go through that, too. Like, I'll see them out and about as an adult, you know.
I think it's
it does
great.
make you proud.
It's great when you see a kid, especially at that high school age, that develops a plan. You know, and if that plan is that you want to get an apprenticeship, you want to be a lineman, you want to be a pipe fitter, you want to be an English teacher, whatever it is,
True.
have a plan.
It's hard to have a plan at that age, so that's impressive that they do.
You know, you've got to it's kind of like Mark Twain said. He said, I've never let my schooling interfere with my education. You know, I mean, that's one thing. I'm a real strong believer that you're always that we're all lifelong learners.
No, that is for sure. That is for sure.
I know myself, I'm 34, and looking at it now as somebody that's looking at like doing home improvement type things, I'm like, man, I wish I would have taken carpentry, and I wish I would have done some of these things. And it's kind of what I'm telling my stepson now. He wants to be a music teacher, and I said, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, go to Chattanooga State, get some type of trade
Have a
certification.
backup plan.
You know, go out there and work hard and make your money, and then when your back starts hurting, then start teaching. That's the way to do it. That's what
It actually is.
That's what I wish I would have done. So
You always gotta have a plan B. Really
yeah.
a plan C. A
So
plan
that-
C, D, E, F, G, really.
yeah. So to answer your question, I will keep my credentials and stuff up to date.
Oh, yeah.
And
That would be smart.
yeah, I don't regret having a degree because, you know, the number one skill I learned in school was from Steve Reel, and that was networking.
Yeah,
You know,
that's important.
Who you know, the connections you have, the relationships that you
It's
establish.
That's
you know,
critical too.
that is just as important as your character and, you know, your ability and your credentials that you.
It
that you
really is. It really is. Did that satisfy your personal?
I just know that after 3 years of being in the school system, I recognize the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I think you got a compliment.
Well, thank
Papa.
you. Thank you there. That means a lot, Mr. Albert.
I know you sure made an impact in those 3 years. Good Lord. Every time he sees them kids, they come up and hug him, and they'll tell me how they liked how he would take the time out to talk to them and stuff.
Oh, one day
And you know they remember that, Papa.
One day I went down there as a substitute. They called me at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
I said, well, this is kind of quick, but I'll be there as soon as I can get there. Well, when I got there, the principal said, now we don't have a teacher's manual to give you to tell them what to do because this teacher fell off a horse. So can you just hold court for 3 or 4 hours? I said, yeah, I'll tell jokes.
There you go. You're good at that, at least. I forgot something, folks. I guess that's my third mistake that I ever did make.
3 strikes, Billy.
I know it. And I worked hard at getting these. Real quick. Well, they're your kin, folks. That's what made me think to do it, Matt.
Okay.
So we better wish happy birthday, belated happy birthday. Yesterday was his brother, Michael Colvard's birthday, and his sister's birthday as well, Angie Stewart now. So happy belated birthday to Michael and Angie. And then today we got a happy birthday for John Paul Thomas. Happy birthday, buddy.
JP.
And also for Chase Smith. Happy birthday, Chase. Hope everybody had and is having a great birthday. All right, and back to you, Matt.
Okay. What else you got? Lay it on me.
Papa. You got another personal.
I would like for you to condense in just as few words as possible your goals if you succeed.
Well, if I win in this office, we are one of a few counties where you cannot pay fines and fees online. That's something that I would like to establish. And being 34, being involved with technology and education, I feel that I'm...
Sure.
And especially, one thing that was interesting about working in Nationwide is we had like 4 different systems that you had to use. Because the Nationwide office sold nationwide, but also...
local, I'm sure.
Well, they sold Farmers Mutual, a company called Foremost, and then actually Progressive. So all these.
Oh wow!
So not every system was user friendly. So between that and then, what was interesting, you kind of had to reconcile all the money in a similar way at the.
Oh really?
So those type of things in the office, I'm comfortable with having that experience. The second thing is, I don't know the dollar amount because.
You're not privy to that.
I'm not privy to it where I've had to send it on paper, but I do know that collecting fines and fees is something that I'll work on, even if I have to bring in a collection agency. Me myself, and I've got one plan.
That would help with it better. It's hard to.
Well,
it's too simple. A collection agency can get it done.
Well, it's a fee office, and not every courthouse office is a fee office, but offices where you pay fees, the more money they bring in, that's less money out of the coffers of the pot of tax money to operate.
That's true. That's true.
And that's something that I think I can improve upon. And
I think they should at least attempt to pay their fines. I get it when it's a astronomical amount of money. I get it, but at least try and make payments on it.
And I'll be fair to the system. Sometimes if there's a particularly heinous crime or a serious charge, there may be an astronomical fine. Where I mean, realistically, if that particular individual has assets or things that could be seized. That's the only way that you're going to recoup that. But realistically, there are a lot of people who, if, again, I look to it in that same one-on-one aspect that I had in the insurance business. If you call them and say, hey, do what you can. Give me $20 here, $50 here. Eventually, that's going to be paid off. And those people that can have the records expunged, because a lot of times a judge will say,
"That's right,
pay court costs," and that needs to happen.
That should happen because
my theory
is
is
good people,
right. Well, a lot of times in that office, you may have good people or you have young people that have just made poor choices.
Exactly.
Of course, being a teacher, somebody that's involved in education, anything I can do to help the youth that are, have drug charges or more petty type things. Of course, there's,
I like to hear that.
Of course, ultimately, the judge makes that decision.
Yeah.
But anything I can do within, the confines and the description of my job to help them, I'm going to do. But one way that I think that I can at least make an impact myself as an office holder is right now the courthouse is closed till 12 on Thursdays.
Is.
And
ever since I can remember.
Well, they used to be open half a day on Saturday.
Oh yeah, they're not anymore, are they? Except for maybe one or two. Yeah.
And I just know for me, if I'm elected circuit court clerk, my plan. And if I don't do this, hold it to me, vote me out. Unless I'm on vacation or having a kidney stone, my plan is any day before court.
I know about them kidney stones.
Yeah, me too. We talked about that not too long ago.
Yeah.
My wife texts me. She's like, "Why are you puking back here?" And I'm in the ER, and I'm like, "That's how bad it hurts."
Yeah, this is the worst pain I've ever been in my life.
But no, my plan is every day preceding court, I want to be in that office till 5. And the reason I say 5 is because a lot of your local attorneys, they're not getting back from depositions or meetings till late in the afternoon. So let's say that something needs to be updated to the docket for court the next day, or anything last minute needs to happen with a file. I want them to know, well, Bledsoe County, Mr. Colvard's there till 5. And that's just on the days preceding court. And on Thursday,
an extra hour.
I look at it as
what do you do on Thursday?
You're compensated well enough that I don't mind being in the office, even if it's just me, and I'm the one spending the extra 3 or 4 hours. One, trying to serve clients and taxpayers, but 2, trying to reach out to the people. Because, that was part of my job in the insurance industry, or even part of my job as an educator, having to reach out and make phone calls. So that's something I'm definitely comfortable doing.
Used to doing.
And, I mean, it's not like you're a bill collector or one of these automated voice things with collections. It's like you're saying, look, I know this is what it is, and I know it's difficult, and gas prices are what they are, but... realistically, and some people, they get so scattered. They're trying to put their life back together, and if you can help them establish that one piece of organization to get,
it'll help them a lot.
And I know a lot of politicians. They do those little calendars, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna get some of them made up. Really, keep them. Say, look, right here, like this is your star date. Get this paid by this date, and everything's.
You'd be surprised. That'd help a lot of people because they're not organized. That's the truth. They got too much going on.
And my big thing is this is a small town. A lot of people, or not. If you don't know them directly, you know them indirectly. I plan on treating everybody the same. I don't care who your family is, what your political affiliation is, which church you go to, what color you are, no matter your sex, your creed, any of that stuff. If you're in there, you're going to be treated like somebody with respect. And, I plan on having a very service-oriented operation. I mean, what's funny is Mr. Cameron, who is going to be the next judge.
Him on there.
Cam.
Yeah, he wants to come back.
Had a chance to meet with him. Of course,
he's awesome. He's really nice.
Yep.
Yeah. You did. They come visit Pawpaw in the hospital.
Of course, right. Of course, Justin, you went to school with Justin. And, Judge Angel spent the night at my parents' house before. My brother playing football and stuff. And I've not had a chance to meet Mr. Sherman, but, if I win, I want to prove to them, hey, this is one of the best ran offices in this judicial district.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal to have.
And matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, if I do win, when Squatchy hired me, I was transparent, and I said, if I win, I'm going to have to resign.
Right.
They liked the fact that I was
endorsed.
Honest
about it.
Yeah, that I was honest about it, and then I was endorsed in the right areas, and
that's good.
But my plan is to take about 2 weeks and to go down to Marion County, Sequatchie, and then with Jamie Holloway, who's the circuit court clerk in Ray County, to basically take my laptop and my legal pad and anything I can soak in and job shadow, I will.
That's important. That's a good idea. You can learn a lot.
It's just like teaching. I've observed teachers and different people. Different people have different styles, and
of course,
you pick up things, you try things out, and you see how it works. So
you eventually find what works for you.
Yeah, I've always tried to be pragmatic in the sense that I may have an idea or a way, but I'm not against being persuaded if you can show me a way to do it better.
That's good.
There's no one can snap their fingers like you.
Yeah. That was my one thing. If I did snap my fingers, they usually knew that I meant business.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you got to. They'll be running all over you, so you got to on that.
That's true. So
also, I have to ask you.
Okay.
We've asked some other Democrats on here.
Okay.
Because I'll just tell you blunt. I don't care what people think about me, so I don't care. I feel like the Democrat Party has been completely destroyed by the liberal lunatics. That's a good name for them. Mm-hmm. They are just too extreme, just way out there, and they're definitely not for me and you and Papa and Ethan. They don't care about us.
Right.
But, I think it's important when a Democrat runs to emphasize that I'm not them, that's not really us,
Well, I can talk to that. It's like I said in Washington.
Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible.
Even coming from a political family, even studying politics and government, and somebody that's always tried to study history and policy in an objective way, nobody's right 100% of the time.
Of course not.
I tell you what's funny, before I studied him, I always thought that Richard Nixon was the devil and that Ronald Reagan was way better. And I think, as far as being a person, I think Ronald Reagan was a better person than Nixon.
I think you're right on that one.
but going back and reading some of the things, it's like, okay, Nixon wasn't as bad as I thought, and Reagan did a couple things I disagreed with, but not doing like another politician. I'll answer your question. I'm more of a... You remember who Ned Ray McWhirter was?
Oh yeah.
I'm more of a Ned Ray McWhirter type Democrat.
And the name for Democrats like that, you said a lot of them are called Reagan Democrats. Now, I've heard of that.
I mean,
it's
just
popped
true.
in my brain. But it is important to point that out.
I'll give you, for example, I tried to introduce a gun sanctuary resolution, and we winded up doing something that basically said that we honor the Second Amendment and interpret it as the right for people to bear arms for protection. So I'm a pro gun guy.
Right.
The First Amendment.
Now you're liberal. The liberals would have passed out just then. So that
and that's and it's one thing that I think what we have a problem of in this country is we have a culture clash.
Of course, yes.
We have people from the South in the small rural towns that would be terrified to go to an urban or an inner city area.
Yeah, try driving in New York City downtown sometime, folks. And this guy had to do it.
Right, and vice versa. You got people from the inner city who would be terrified to come out here with sticks.
Yeah.
And I think that we have some commonalities and even some of the same problems. if we would sit down and
absolutely.
talk about them. Actually, there's a podcast, Billy,
Absolutely.
that if I find, I'll send to you.
You need to.
And I just seen it. I read about it, but it's supposed to be where two complete strangers, one who identifies as very conservative and one who identifies as very liberal. They talk and they ask each other questions. One, to get a better understanding on why they feel the way they feel, and then two, to see if they have any commonality.
That's how it's supposed to be.
You know, and honestly, I mean, being a history guy,
you have to listen. A lot. The problem is, they're already ready to answer for. They're not even listening to you. They're ready to just come back with something. You can't do that.
Yeah. The problem is if you stray a little bit, you know, it's like Joe Manchin, who's a conservative Democrat. People be like, why don't you just join the Republican Party? And then there's different feelings on that.
He was treated very unfairly.
And then you had, the governor of Ohio.
And I liked it.
Yeah, the governor of Ohio, John Kasich, who a lot of people's like, well, he's really a Democrat. And really it was like, these are two people that are moderate that don't think that either party's right all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest position.
Because they're not, nobody's right all the time.
No, but to me, I'm more the type of person that thinks, why does there have to just be this one Democratic answer, Republican answer? What Washington's gotten away from is solvency, solving a problem.
They don't want to.
And a lot of things
that way. It appears that way. They just get there and argue and. Well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. They don't listen anymore.
Right.
They just want to argue. You're not going to get nowhere like that.
Well, you've got to find. Actually, I read a book, and it's John Boehner's book, who used to be the Speaker of the House, and this was his argument. Of course, it's open for interpretation, but he said when a lot of the middle of the road Republicans got beat, and this was like 2010, and a lot of the Southern Democrats or the Blue Dogs got beat. He said that was tough. He said because you had a lot of people that ran on ideology, but when it came up there to actually, these 3 or 4 hot button issues would take the cake, but when it come down to the other 100 issues where they actually had to get something done, they couldn't.
Exactly.
Because one, it's social media. Everybody's a mouthpiece. Anybody can talk, and talk is cheap. But when it came down to actually have to sit down and solve problems or to be those swing votes, he made the argument. He said even though there were people that I disagreed with or were a different party, he said at the same time those were people that you knew on a handful of issues you could count on them to get something done.
Well, that means a lot just right there.
And we're seeing. Yeah.
Well, I know. That's my fault. We didn't start exactly on time.
But I will say the last thing I'll say is this: the National Party makes it tough.
I do wish. Now that was my point. I do wish somebody in the Democrat Party would stand up and say, "Well, we are not with them," because they really need their own party.
The closest we've got to that is the governor of Louisiana, who's John Bel Edwards, and he's pro-life and he's pro-gun, and
I think it's going to come to that point. I think the Democrats will do that.
We're going to have to do that because
save their party.
And the bad thing is, when there's a blue wave or a red wave, and I'll say this for either side, you have opportunists who will say whatever they need to say.
Unfortunately, yes.
And the bad part of that is some people slip through the cracks and they win simply because it's like when the Patriots were winning. Anybody can put on that gear and act like they're the biggest fan, but it's when.
Oh yeah, that's not a true friend. I can't think of the word for that. That's not a true friend.
And I'll say this: I think I've tried. I've not made every vote I've made's not been perfect on the commission, but I think about Vernig that just came here, the fact that we got TCAP wanting to relocate, Avagen and the feed mill. In 8 years that I've been on the commission, especially really tickled me seeing the water lines going in up around the Sunnyside community, and of course out at Brayton and Hendon. You know, we've done some good things as a commission, and I've tried to keep my focus on serving the people. I've always had my number out there. I've always tried to keep an open door policy, and that's still something I'll try to do.
What it's about right there. So, I like what you said, serving the people.
Well, and I say it, my signs say ready to work for you, and I want every voter that hears this to know that I work for you.
That's right.
You hire me. If you see me out going door to door, or if I come up and talk to you, I know it's part of the political game. Politicians got to ask for a vote.
But that is so
But I
true.
mean, sincerely, every good job deserves an interview, and the voters
should
one-on-one.
Fairly
You speaking with me is your opportunity to ask any question you want to make your assessment and opinion, and ultimately, when you go to the ballot box, you hire or fire me and decide if I'm somebody that you want in that position, or if you'd like to make another choice. And I definitely respect the right to vote, and I encourage anybody listening to register to vote. Even if you're going to vote against me, still get registered to vote, because I mean, seriously,
I agree. And that was a good thing to say, because that they forget that they work for us, Papa. The government works for us, everybody.
That's true.
Don't come and ask
We
me
got
for a
some
raise.
that are trying to be more dictators, and that's not going to fly, because this is America, and you work for us. So I get a little ticked off about that.
And
they need to be reminded.
And I'll say this: one reason why I'm big on encouraging people to vote, no matter how they're going to vote. I have friends who are close to my age who have grown up in political families, or on both sides, and they won't vote. Well, for one, they won't vote for the president or national stuff because they're like, why does it matter? But they won't vote for the local stuff because the national levels made them so disgusted.
That's the problem. Yes, thank you.
And if I had a room full of probably the 100 people I've encountered over the past decade who are like, I don't vote. I mean, 100 votes is enough to
Exactly.
Absolutely, especially locally.
That's exactly right. And to close all that, we all need to stop making the mistake of just going down through the lines and voting on these races. We don't even know the candidates, and we just keep putting them in. We see incumbent, don't even know who they are, and keep putting them in. We're messing up when we do that. I'm too comfortable and too powerful and too greedy.
I'm a charts and figures guy. I know that the finance committee meets at least a couple times every year when they're preparing the budget, and I'm prepared to come in and be like, look, here's the amount of money that's owed to my office. Here's what we brought in. Running a fiscally responsible or a conservative budget, however you want to talk and label that. That's something I plan on doing. And every year I'm prepared to show the people, here's X amount of fines and fees that are due, here's what we've collected, and let me explain how we've done this, and here's my plan. And
can't complain about that. Well, is there anyone, before we do Papa's famous trivia, any last thing you want to tell the voters real quick?
I'll just say, my name is Matt Colvard. I am running to be your next circuit court clerk. If you've listened, hopefully you know that I care about Bledsoe County. I got to give a shout out to my wonderful wife Grace and my sons AJ and Preston for sticking with me, and of course my mom Sue Colvard and my dad Danny Colvard. I really appreciate them for their help and encouragement throughout this, and it'd be an honor to serve you. I promise you I would be the type of official who won't ignore your calls, who won't make up excuses. If there's something I can do better, I'll own up to it, and my goal is about improvement. And if you hire me by voting me in the next 4 years, I guarantee that I'll do you a good job.
Well said, Papa. Well said. And I'll just remind everybody real quickly, early voting starts Friday, July the 15th.
That sure is correct.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks. All right, Matt. Now you get to get a little taste of trivia time.
I'm sweating more now about the trivia.
I know you should be, because trust me, I never know how it's going to go.
I have a feeling
Hopefully
that
you're
these.
a good lifeline for me today.
I have a feeling these are too easy.
We'll
He
see.
always says that. It's
A
We'll
true.
very
see.
famous country music venue near Nashville.
Okay.
Grand Ole Opry?
Well, you got the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah. Is that it?
And you got the
Grand
Ryman.
Ole Opry.
I knew
Okay.
it was going to be
Fair
one of them. All right.
Okay.
Good lifeline.
Second one. Memphis's most famous street.
Beale Street.
Definitely.
I was there not too long ago.
Oh,
I told you
cool.
these are too easy.
Watch the Grizzlies
See,
play.
that's how he does me if I get them right.
Tennessee's nickname and why?
You have
The
to do that.
Volunteer
Volunteers.
state.
Why?
Because this state stepped up and volunteered more than any other state for a war.
What war was?
Now, that wasn't part of the trivia question.
All right. Our most famous river.
Oh, wow.
Our most-
Mississippi?
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi is what I'm thinking.
Are we wrong?
I mean,
That's the largest
Yeah.
because the Tennessee flows into the
Exactly.
Mississippi.
Apparently we're wrong.
But if you
Matt.
live in Tennessee,
That's-
which is the most famous river?
Oh, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that would have been a good
I was
clue
thinking
to
a
know.
trick question like Real Foot Lake or something. But anyway,
It was worded like a trick question.
Red, blank, blank, that's one word. Blank, that's one
Oh,
word.
Lord.
Beat.
I hope you know this one, Lifeline, because that was one of the worst.
Red,
ones.
blank, blank, beat.
beat.
Red, blank, blank. Red, blank, blank, beat.
A beat. You know what a
Yeah,
beat
like
is? What
you
you
eat.
eat.
You're
Red,
red as a pickled beet.
red as a pickled beet.
Okay.
How in the, boy,
You got that one. My
lucky.
mind was going.
Now we will depend on Matt to get this one.
Okay.
All right, Lifeline, come on.
A bookish type kid. What do you call him?
A nerd.
A nerd.
That's exactly right.
A nerd.
Yeah.
You know, I got to thinking.
You know, you could have been nice and put bookworm.
Yeah.
I don't believe I ever heard anyone call me a nerd, but at
Well,
one
that's
time
good.
the librarian kept up with how many books I had read.
You're a
I had
certified
read-
nerd, aren't you?
I had read 52 books.
Dang.
Everybody's a
He is
nerd.
a
It, don't-
big
it might
nerd.
be. It might
Yeah.
be old cars. It might be books. That's what I used to tell my kids.
That is true.
Of course,
That
I'm
is true.
a self-proclaimed book and music nerd. So,
A ghost. Hello.
boo.
Boo. The last
Good
one.
timing,
Last
man.
The last one.
That's
Y'all haven't
right.
missed one.
Heck yeah.
A big. A pen name. A
You just
name of
screwed
a
that one
pen,
up,
and I
Dick.
said big.
Oh. What's funny is he said big, and my mom was like, "Is he going to say pen or lighter?"
I know. I mean,
Like, where's he going?
oh, I knew you messed up by your expression, but
Uh,
I still didn't know for sure at first.
That's the first mistake I ever made.
See,
Hey.
I told you you said that.
Random question. It's probably my ADD going. I've noticed in my pilot pens, my good ones, like the $4 or $5
Pen
pens,
expert.
a lot of the pilots are made in France or Japan.
Oh, I
And
didn't
I've always
know
found that peculiar. Well, when I
That
did debate in college, those multicolor click pens,
Yeah.
a lot of them were made in France. And I
I
always
never
thought
paid
that
attention to
I always
that.
thought that was so weird.
I lost my gas cap one time. I left my pen at home.
Oh,
I can't believe. No,
I
I
lo-
bet this is it.
No, yeah, that's it.
My bad, I stole it.
ooh, that's a Sharpie pen.
Well, I
Those
didn't
are
mean to
good.
steal it,
But
thank you.
what was I going to say?
It's about a pen. You lost your gas cap.
I lost my gas cap one time. I filled up down GB Myers,
Okay.
and when I made the swing, I had not put my gas cap lid on, so I had to buy a lid, made in Israel.
Israel.
Oh,
Israel.
wow. I've never
Okay.
seen
I never
that.
bought anything made in Israel.
Nor
Wow.
have I.
We have one of the men that comes from the jail for the Bible study. His name is Israel.
Well, I mean, it is a rare name, but I know one Israel
Yeah.
George.
Yep.
I know
Yep.
he's the only Israel that I know.
That's
You
all
know
I have
him.
that's all I have of trivia.
Okay.
Well, we passed your trivia with flying colors.
Next time I'll make them hard.
Yeah.
Don't be thinking like that, Papa.
Don't poke the bear. He'll come roaring back at you next time.
He likes to trip me up on him, Matt.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Matt.
It's been great.
Thanks
I
for
enjoyed
coming
it.
by. Good luck to you in the election. Remember,
Thank
folks, early voting starts July the 15th. So, sure they'll be seeing you tomorrow night at the Star Spangled
They will.
celebration.
I look forward to that. I'll be out, and actually,
Yeah.
I hope to get over
There'll be a
to.
good crowd.
I hope to get over to Ember's shameless plug and
Oh,
get
yeah.
some of that Smoky Mountain fudge. That's
Oh, yeah. And I always ask Cliff for a good old glass of sweet tea. That's the best tea in
okay.
this town.
Great tea, but the best quarter-pound hot dog
Is also there.
that you'll find anywhere.
Yes.
As you
It's
can
really,
tell, as you
really
can tell,
good.
I'm a large American. I've eaten lots of ballpark Franks. You will not be let down.
No, he does a good job. He makes them on Saturdays, folks.
Yeah,
Cliff, you owe me. We're plugging you like crazy today.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Matt, and we'll be back right after the commercial break for some sports, and then, of course, some good old Albertology. That's all coming up next, right here on the Albert Billy Show. Stay tuned, folks.
Welcome to the Dunlap Mercantile, located in the heart of the beautiful Sequatchie Valley at 15664 Rankin Avenue in Dunlap, Tennessee. Stop in today for some Mayfield ice cream or a cup of community coffee, and if you're interested in renting this venue for your event, call 423-949-2552. Stay tuned to DunlapMercantile.com for concerts and events coming to the Dunlap Mercantile in 2021. God bless.
Welcome back, folks, to the Albert and Billy Show here on WUAT Radio, Channel 18, BTC Fiber TV, and go to the BTC Fiber YouTube channel and get on there and subscribe. We want you to subscribe, and we do appreciate it. It's getting closer to that magic 1,000 number, closer and closer every day, so we do appreciate that. And you can see all the original shows from BTC Fiber on the YouTube channel. So check it out, folks. And you know what, Mr. Producer Man, I looked on there the other day, and it's doing mighty good. The whole YouTube channel involved. I looked on there and had to do a double take, but the BTC Fiber YouTube channel has over 1 million views. Now that
Whoa.
is something to be proud of. So
Wow.
yeah, it sure did. Cause I did a double and a triple take, and I assure you, that's where it's at. Go BTC Fiber, right?
I like to watch the Ed Brown show.
I think they'd be a good guest to be on here sometime. That'd be a good crossover episode, producer.
Why doesn't he invite me to sing on his show?
Lord, I don't know. I can't imagine why.
Did you hear me, Ed?
Yeah, that pop on your show. We want to thank our sponsors, all the sponsors. Citizens Tri-County. I have to go through them quickly today, folks, so I'll just be saying the names. But thank you to Citizens Tri-County Bank, Bilbrey Insurance, Scotty's, the offices of Emma Boynton, Lisa Wheeler, Michael Walker, thank you, Farm Bureau Insurance, I don't know, we're going to say the Loom one more time, but because I don't know if they're open right now.
They're
or
in the
not.
process of shutting.
But they're
down
going
shop.
out of business. Okay. Nickel Row Antiques, obviously, our closest neighbor. You need to come check it out, folks. I'm telling you, it's a great place to be. Gibbs Pools, Morgan Brothers, which will include the venue and the Bankwalker Brewery, State Farm Insurance. We will be filming at this, you know what though? Well, I'll just have to say it today though. Mill Down Outdoor Adventures.
Right
We're going. Yeah, I know, but we don't really have time to go through the whole thing. But I will say that we're going to be filming there in the near future. Extreme heat is the issue today, so we're going to try to schedule that. Might have to have an early morning shoot on that or a dusky dark one, but be well worth it. And yeah, the Old Mill Down Outdoor Adventure is on 34 Mule Lane, Pikeville, Tennessee. Give them a call, 447-6304. Reservations only. You can go kayaking, canoeing, fishing, and they even have a shooting range, folks. So check it out, and we'll be checking it out really soon. It's Lola's. She's on Main Street, the Country Gospel Bluegrass Showcase Sunday. Collier and Company Realty, Michelle Collier. Cindy Nipper with Remax, she's a realtor there. Dexter's Barbershop, The Butter Dish, Lee Station Baptist Church, Southern Pearl Florist, Home Decor and Gifts. Thanks to all of our sponsors.
We gotta have you.
That's right. Now we're ready for the wide world of sports.
Yes, I'm ready for sports.
Or as you say, sports of all sorts.
Sports of all sorts.
In the summertime, sometimes it slows down a little bit. You know, we got a little baseball and got tennis right now with Wimbledon.
Osaka had to withdraw.
She did withdraw. I don't think she had to, though, or did she?
It just said that she had withdrawn from Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
But
she wasn't the only one. It was for, because they're not getting points, you know, because Wimbledon tried to get political and get involved in something they had no business getting involved in. So that
the number one player in the world is from Russia, and they wouldn't let him play.
Yeah, it's beyond pathetic. A person can't help what country they're born in.
No,
and so they shouldn't be doing that. They took a lot of heat for it, rightfully so.
But Nadal and Djokovic are both in the third round.
Yeah, and I think they're on different sides of the draw.
They are
correct?
on the different sides of the draw.
So it deserves to be a Nadal-Djokovic final. I hope that's what we get.
I watched both of them play this week, and they both look tremendous.
Yeah. And, I mean, Nadal, if he was on clay, I'd have to heavily favor Rafael. Nadal, grass would be more neutral, for sure.
Djokovic is number one in the draw.
He is. And he's took a beating from the media and stuff, too.
Yeah.
Just for, it's made me respect him more. If he don't want to get that shot, he doesn't have to. That's his choice.
Well, I heard I came down with the COVID, and that's the reason I wasn't here last week.
Right. And you've had the shot, so it didn't work for you.
I had the shots, and someone told me that the shots wouldn't do me any good anyway.
Yeah, I think it might have been me. I told you.
I think somebody amens you.
Yeah.
But Mississippi won the World Series of.
I know that was awesome. Now that's good news. SEC.
They have won, the SEC has won 7 out of the last 13.
Man, that's impressive.
That's
right
more
there.
than 50%.
And I do believe that's the Rebels' first national championship.
That's their
in baseball.
first time they ever won, and they deserved it.
Yeah,
they had to beat
them.
Oklahoma twice.
That made it even more impressive.
And they did it. They
sure did.
So I was proud of them and proud of the SEC. We had 4 teams to represent us.
Yeah.
And I think they all did well.
They did. The only bad news on that is, Tennessee didn't make it as the number 1 ranked team in the country.
They should have made it.
Well, get them next year, Vols, hopefully. Ole Miss might be a force to be reckoned with next year, though, as well.
I believe they will.
Mm-hmm.
In the NBA, the SEC had 8 representatives drafted in the draft. The Big Ten had more than the SEC this year.
Dang.
Tennessee signed John Slaughter, And that gives us 11 signees for this new term coming
Now,
up.
yeah, on football, I think he's
Football.
doing a good job. He's actually had time this year to recruit.
Well, this gave us the third defensive back.
Was he a highly touted recruit?
He's a safety, and he was highly recruited.
That's what we want. I want to see some 4 stars and 5 stars get on the roster.
In the Paul Feinbaum show,
He
reported that the 2 schools in the Pac-12, UCLA and USC, versus
our rivals.
they are both going to join the Big Ten.
Oh, let me get this straight. 2 schools in
the
Los
Pac-12.
Angeles, California,
They're going to join the Big Ten.
where the Big Ten is the Midwest. Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. This is getting stupid.
The distance between California and New Jersey, which is the furthest
Oh my
east,
gosh!
is almost 3,000 miles.
They need to get a handle on that. That is
make sense.
stupid.
Don't
no,
make
it
sense.
don't.
But by the same token, it don't make sense to me that we had 2 schools wanting to join the SEC.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Out of the Big 12.
I don't. It's not making any sense anymore, and it's clearly about money. But at some point, enough's enough.
TV contract, and these 2 schools
Why not just stay in the Pac-12? Why do they want to leave?
You tell me.
Did it say?
Why would you? No, but why would you want to join necessarily the Big Ten?
I don't get it. They're going to have it hard. Look at the traveling they're going to have to do.
How much it would cost to go to the schools?
Yeah.
Every school you'd be playing would be in the Midwest.
Oh yeah, I mean they're going to have some. Oh, that's just stupid. I think they need to leave well enough
And what
alone.
about the Rose Bowl? They would not be.
There
a candidate.
goes that. They wouldn't be anymore. Serves them right for being so stupid to join a conference halfway
Kevin
across
Durant,
the country.
in basketball, Kevin Durant wants to leave the Nets.
Does he? Has he hinted where he wants to go? Boston Celtics,
No,
hopefully.
But I'm sure he will decide where he wants to go.
Boy, I hope it's the Celtics. They're like one big time player away. They almost won it this year without that. They need a player like that, and that'll seal the deal, Papa.
Well, that's all I have in sports.
Well, that was pretty. That's some good stuff, though. At least Ole Miss went in. I forgot about that, so I'm glad you reminded me of that. I watched that.
Well, I did watch my Dodgers play the Braves last Sunday night.
How'd that go?
We had to go 11 innings, but we beat them.
Did you? Oh, well, that.
Took us 11 innings.
Well, at least you won.
At least we won. We're still in first place, I reckon. I don't get.
Good.
I don't get a newspaper anymore.
Oh, okay. I'll start keeping up with it for you on my phone, which you could. I'm just going to show you sometime how to do some of this stuff.
I'll do a couple items out of Albertology.
Yeah, we gotta have good old Albertology.
Pat Sajak said this. You know Pat Sajak?
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. He said, "You never get a second chance to make a first impression."
That is absolutely true.
Whatever your
Don't
first
think about it
and let me
much.
tell you, Cliff's wife was impressed by somebody that didn't make an impression. Their first impression they made with her a while ago.
A good impression.
No, it was
Not
bad.
oh.
The first impression.
Well, for her, that must have been a bad one.
Yeah, but the
Miguel's
first
one of the
impression.
nicest people you could possibly meet.
He can't undo it.
True, that is true. People don't think about that.
An
enough.
optimist and a pessimist. The difference in them. An optimist sees the glass as half full, but he also thanks God for the glass.
Ooh, I like that. I've never heard it like that.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said this.
I've heard of him. Is he a poet?
He's a poet. He said, "What's behind us and what's before us is tiny matters compared to what's within us."
Ooh. I've never heard that.
Tiny matters compared to what's within us. And
Wow.
And let me tell you, some of the things that's happened to me, I would not want anybody to go through what I have had to go through.
Well, yeah,
But
obviously.
what's happened to me in the past and what lies before me in the future is nothing compared to what is within me.
I've never heard
I
that,
never-
but I like it.
Way to go, Ralph Waldo Emerson.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Now I'll tell you a joke or two.
Well, you got time to tell, 3 or 4 if you want to, Papa. Papa, in case you guys didn't know, he has to hurry along because he also teaches Sunday school on Facebook Live. So you can check out Papa on Facebook Live teaching Sunday school folks.
My pastor told me today, he said, Albert, do you realize that you're teaching people all over the world?
Mm-hmm.
I said, no. He said, we've been getting text from the Philippines.
See, you do, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Some of those men from the jail read them.
Oh, from the Philippines? Well, dang, I wish I could read from
I
these
go to the Bible
countries.
study at the church for the inmates from the jail.
Yeah. Well,
Here's a
might have to have a statue in town after all, Papa.
Here's a science tip.
A
You can
science tip.
distinguish an alligator from a crocodile by
Yeah.
paying attention to whether the animal sees you later or in a while. Have you ever heard that joke?
I have not. I've never heard that one.
Dogs look up to you, cats look down on you. Give me a pig, he looks you in the eye and treats you as an equal. An ant is a small insect
That works mighty hard.
that always is at work, still finds time to go on a picnic.
Boy, don't they.
Do you know where giraffes came from?
Where did giraffes come from?
They were invented in 1780 when 3 horses accidentally swallowed a ladder. 3 horses accidentally swallowed a ladder.
Oh my God, they kind of do look like that.
Listen to this one. A guy's driving through the country and he sees a sign in front of a house, dog for sale. Talking dog for sale.
Oh, well, he's going to make him some money.
He put the brakes on and turned around and went back into that driveway leading up to that house. He rang the doorbell and the farmer told him that the dog was in the backyard. So the guy goes around to the back of the house and he sees a Labrador Retriever sitting there.
They're smart.
And so the man says to the dog, "You talk?" "Yep," the dog said. "So what's your story?" The lab says, "Well, I discovered that I could talk when I was pretty young, and I wanted to help the government, so I told the CIA about my gift. And in no time at all, they had me jetting from country to country, sitting in room with spies and world leaders because no one figured a dog could understand what they were saying.
Well, that would be slick right there.
I was one of their most valuable spies for 8 years running. But the jetting around really tired me out, and I knew I wasn't getting any younger, so I wanted to settle down. I signed up for a job at the airport to do some undercover security work, mostly wandering near suspicious characters and listening in. I uncovered some incredible dealings and was rewarded a batch of medals. I got married, got a mess of puppies, and now I'm just retired. The guy is amazed. He goes back in and asks the farmer what he wants for the dog. $10.
$10 just
The guy says, "This dog is amazing.
Yeah.
Why are you selling him so cheap?" The farmer says, "Because he's a liar. He hasn't done half the stuff he told you."
Shoot. Who cares? He can still talk. What a moron.
$10 for a talking dog.
I'm sure that man had no problem paying that, Papa. One more. Come on. You got one
This
more.
This man died and he went to heaven.
Okay.
St. Peter meets him at the Golden Gate.
I see that.
And St. Peter says, "You'll be relieved to hear that your phone died too."
Oh, that is so true. That's good. That's good. We can do one more. We do have time for one more. If you got one. It's kind of hard to... The talking dog one was really good, though.
Several guys are playing poker.
Right.
And one of them, Fred, loses $1,500.
Whew.
And he clutched his chest and died.
Oh,
dropped dead.
Good Lord.
And realizing Fred's wife needed to know, Bob agreed to go and tell her. So the guys that were playing poker with him and won the $1,500 says, "Now, Bob, be discreet." So Bob goes to Fred's home, knocks on the door. Fred's wife answers the door, and he says, "Fred lost $1,500 playing poker and is afraid to come home."
Okay, that's good.
Tell him to drop dead.
Ooh!
Bob says, "Okay, I'll tell him."
You hear that one, Gal? That was great.
I'll close with that one.
It's going to be hard to top that one. She made his job a lot easier.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah, you're on a roll, Papa, on the jokes. I got to give it up to you.
Well,
especially the last few months. You're on a roll.
Well, that about the talking dog and about Fred's wife. That's unreal.
That is. I like that. That's good.
But I would not be surprised that people that play poker, $1,500? Where would you come up with $1,500?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I feel for them if they lose that kind of money. I'm sure it happens daily. You know it does.
Well,
I'd rather win it than lose it, wouldn't you?
I guess every guy that's playing thinks, the next hand I'm going to win. The next hand I'm going to win.
I guess so. After losing that much money, though, I think I would retire from poker. That right then and there.
Or die with a heart attack.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, he lost so much money it literally killed him. Well, folks, bye, Gail. Folks, thanks for joining us today. We want to thank our special guest, Matt Colvard, for joining us today. Remember, he's running for Circuit Court Clerk. His opponent, Michael Walker, will be a guest in the coming weeks very soon. I don't want to say next week for sure yet, but good possibility. We have two more political guests that are wanting to be on here. Also Jeff Harmon, so we'll get that situated. But next couple of weeks we'll have some guests because it's getting down to the nitty gritty.
It's getting down to the nitty gritty. In August the 4th?
Yeah, for some reason I thought for a while it was going to be, towards the end of August, but I was wrong. It's very early August, like
come
first
Monday,
week.
that would be 1 month.
Yeah, so it really is down to the wire.
Yeah.
So, so we'll have the Michael and Jeff on here though, and we're going to schedule when to film at Old Mill Dam Outdoor Adventure. Like I said, the problem, as y'all know, we've had record highs on heat. Heat. We film at the hottest part of the day.
Right.
So we're going.
Well, it might
hopefully, Mr. Producer can help us out with this and schedule it. I think there's no way around it. It'd have to be in the morning or dusky dark just to get through it without sweating to death.
If you're going to get relief from the heat, you've got to talk about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah, or really later. I was thinking 7, but yeah, at least 6 for sure. But we filmed it too, so it would be it would be bad.
We've always
I would
filmed,
be sweating
We've
to
always
death.
filmed at 2:00, haven't we?
We have, of course, but we have made exceptions and met people halfway. I have to say we've been pretty good about that. I don't think anybody can accuse us of not being good about that. Accommodating,
Accommodating. That's
We
a good word.
We definitely try our best on that. Don't forget, folks, though, check out the Star Spangled event that is tomorrow. It is a good event. Fireworks, music. You got the cruise in, the farmers market.
Is Church of God having their fireworks show? I didn't hear a word about it.
Oh, that is I honestly don't know.
First Southern's going to have a fireworks show Sunday night.
Okay, so that'd be July 3rd. Okay. Ethan, do you know? I've not heard. I feel like we would know by now, though.
It should have been in the Bledsoe
Yeah.
this week.
Because we promote that every year, so
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, as far as I know, I've not heard anything on that.
Well, they're keeping it under their hat if they are
Right.
going to do it.
Which would not make much sense. So you're
No, it
probably
would not
you're
make much
probably
sense.
right on that one. So anyway, we want to wish everybody a safe and happy 4th of July.
Shoot them fireworks, buddy.
That's right. God bless America. God bless USA. So long, folks. We'll see you
See you
guys
later.
next week. Hey, folks. Albert and Billy here. You're watching us on Channel 18, BTC Fiber. Check us out on BTC Fiber YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and like. And check out our Facebook page. Be sure to like and share. Thanks, everybody, for watching.